Is this how this works? I never know how this works. Right. Every time this starts, I have no idea if it's working properly or not. Well. Oh. Hello. Oh, so it is on. Okay. I swear, I don't understand these YouTube controls. They don't make any sense, but that's fine. We'll survive. I'm still getting situated here. I got a lot of tabs open right now that I needed open for writing AFR, and I don't need those open anymore, so they can all go away. Thank you. Yeah, I'm wearing my my Virgil merch today. I figured since this is technically a Sanders Sides stream, I should represent a little bit. So yeah, I call this affectionately my Virgil jacket as well because it's a dark purple jacket. The zipper is broken, so I can't zip it up anymore, which is sad, but it's a really comfy jacket, so I keep it anyway. But yeah, got that going. I should probably share the link because apparently I'm going 5 minutes early, which was not in the plan, but you know what? That's fine. Okay. I don't need the doc open anymore, but I need 2 Tumblr tabs open now. That is a school alarm, which I do not need today because I do not have school today. Am I gonna regret this later? Yes, I need a. All right, hang on just a sec. Oh wait, never mind. That'll do. We're spilling the tea today, or at least drinking it, if not spilling it. All right. One of these days, I'll figure out how to introduce one of these things without large swaths of uncomfortable silence, but we're good for now. All right. I see your prompt, Logan, so we'll probably start with that one. I don't want to get into the storytelling, though, until we get some more people in here. So we'll just kind of chill and drink our tea. Nice. Lovely, 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 lovely. Alrighty. I'm not writing with a pen. That is a stupid thing to do. Where did all my pencils go? I had 2 in my pencil cup and now I have none. What is this nonsense? Well, I guess I'm stuck with this. I don't see any of my normal person pencils lying around. Hello. August 13th was the last one. September 2nd is today. Fun, fun, fun. Alrighty. So again, I'm gonna wait for the storytelling until we get a couple more people. I see more. Hello, more people. I know, right? September. Can't believe we're already in September. That always makes me panic when time starts to progress before I'm ready for it, which is always. But yeah, September kind of snuck up on me this year. But so far, the school has not exploded, and none of the children have tried to kill me, so we're doing good. We're starting off well. Okay, nice. Hello, more people are coming. More people, more friends. Okay. So I'm writing your prompt down right now, Logan. Words. About a year ago today, I was in hell itself. Ooh. And then I met you. So that'll be one that we look at. Alrighty. I bet noise is royalty free. I'm going to put on something in the background to make this a little less dead silent. If you guys, I'm going to actually put a link to it in the chat. Are you allowed to put links in chat? I don't know. Let's find out. You are. Cool. At least I am. There's this website called My Noise. I really love it. It's got a lot of ambient background noises that you can use. I use it when I write a lot. It has all sorts of like settings or music, and there's like waterfall or rain or like the Irish coast or sitting in a busy cafe. But one of the ones that I really like is called 88 Keys, which is a acoustic pianoscape that randomly generates piano sound, but it's not just random clonking on the keys. It fits within, like, it's all in one key signature, or at least in one mode or one scale. But it's not a looping track. It is randomly generated so that you never feel like you're listening to a song, and it's never something that kind of pulls your attention away. If you're the type of person who likes music in the background but ends up focusing on the music too much while you're working, I really recommend 88 Keys from the My Noise thing. So I have no idea if that's actually, can you guys hear that? Is it too loud, too quiet? Because it's playing right now, and I don't know if it's working or not. If you can, cool. But yeah, it's very calming. It's very relaxing. If you like something upbeat when you're working, this might not be the soundscape for you. But if you like to listen to something relaxing while you work, that'll be good. And I think because, again, it's randomly generated, I don't think it'll give us a copyright strike. So even though this isn't monetized, I won't have any copyright claims on this live stream. I already have one copyright claim on my channel because there's an old video of my senior recital from when I was in college, and a section of my senior recital got copyright claimed, which I guess just means I played the song so well they thought it belonged to the recording. I don't know. Oddly enough, the section that was copyright claimed is not a section where I was doing particularly well in the recital. Most people might not be able to tell, but I can tell because I know how that song is supposed to sound because I spent an entire year studying it. But yeah, that's a funny thing where that's the, oops, wait a second. Okay, no, there it is. I thought I had deleted an ask for a minute and I was just in the wrong tab and it hadn't loaded yet. So we're fine. Everything is fine. All right. So if you have not seen me do one of these before, one of the things I do is I write down the prompt that I am going off of in my notebook, just so that I don't lose track of which prompts that I have done and which prompts that I haven't. So that's what I'm doing right now, because I have 2 prompts in my inbox so far. One from I'm Basically Logan and one from Stormcrawler. And I'm just getting those written down right now so that I remember to do them. He and Logan. Ooh, so that one's fun because the ships are kind of open-ended. All right. Very fun, very fun. Also, if you guys have not yet, you should probably read Chapter 5 of A Fiendly Reunion, because I'm probably going to end up talking about it at some point, because I finished it, yay. Well, no, I didn't finish the fic, but I finished the chapter, yay, and it's up, and I'm very excited about it. So it'll be very hard for me not to get into talking about it. So if you don't want spoilers for that, maybe go read that first. But yeah. Alrighty. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this first prompt, and then maybe also try and find some prompt lists online to reblog, so that some people have something to work off of. But this first prompt is from, I lost the URL. Where did it go? There it is. This first prompt is from I'm Basically Logan. And I'm going to put it in the chat too, so that we know. So from I'm Basically Logan, we have, about a year ago from today, I was in hell itself, and then I met you with a open-ended optional pairing. So for this one, first thing obviously is what is the pairing? So this one to me is definitely one that you want a lot of, if not present angst, a lot of past angst. And I feel like if this was a chaptered fic, it would be something that you could actually get into the angst with. It would be something that you could kind of go into more detail with. Or if you just wanted a nice little one-shot, you could have it be like a nice fluffy little, like they're in a good place now and character A is remembering how bad it was in the past before they met character B and before things got to be that way. And honestly, if I got this prompt in my inbox when I said, hey, I want some prompts to write, send me some, and I got this prompt, I would probably go for the latter. I would probably go for a current everything is fine situation, because that's a little bit less work, for one thing, to go for a whole long backstory and lots of chapters and everything like that. But also, there's something really sweet about reading stories that have implied angst, but that are like, it's okay though, they're good now, everything's fine, don't worry about it. There's something really cathartic about those, because it kind of makes you feel like if you're in not a super great place, it's like, I can get to a place like that in the future. So that's really fun. I feel like the person who would say this line, a year ago from today, I was in hell itself, and then I met you. I think the person that they would be meeting. Oh, well, first off, either Patton. I feel like Patton is involved here somehow. Patton, who is texting me? Oh, it's my mother. My mother is texting me now. Oh, yay! You guys, my mom got a new dog. So he's a pit bull mix named Atlas that they just adopted today. And that's him. Oh, yay. I'm so excited to have a dog again. I mean, I don't have a dog because I live 10 hours away from my mom, but we had a dog a year or two ago who died of old age. We had to put her down, so there hasn't been a dog in the house for a while, and now there's a dog again. Yay! Aw, that's so exciting. That'll be good. I can't wait to go and meet him. I need to. That's my reason now to go down to Georgia and visit my mother. Not to visit my mother, to visit my mother's new dog. Oh, he looks so happy though. That's exciting. So yeah. He looks like the biggest sweetheart in the world. Yay! What a happy way to start the stream with a new dog, new puppies. Oh, love it. Okay, so speaking of dogs, I feel like Patton would be involved in this particular story. And you could go two ways. Patton could be the person who was met, who kind of pulls Angst character out of their dark place. Or there's the ever popular Patton is the one in a dark place, and somebody else draws him out of it. And yeah, I know it's cliche because it's me, and y'all know this is my favorite, but I really see this one as a Muxiety fic. It's Muxiety. And it could be either way. It could be Virgil meets Patton, and that gets Virgil out of his dark place, or Patton meets Virgil because Virgil has been in a dark place before, but he's better now. Virgil knows how to help Patton out of his own dark place. I like that. Yeah, I like that. So for this one, the person saying it is Patton, and he's saying it to Virgil because when they met, Virgil was finally in a good place again, maybe because, you know, his best friend Logan and Roman like helped him out of this bad place, or he was able to get, you know, stable. He was able to get the help he needed. And Patton felt like he didn't have any hope, but then Virgil comes into his life, and Virgil shows him that even if you're in the darkest place, there's always going to be hope. And so now you have this really sweet, cute time where Patton is talking to Virgil about how much he means to him and how special that was. So yeah, Muxiety, great way to start. What a great way to start the stream. We have puppies and Muxiety. Those are the two best things in the world. So that's fantastic. All right. So thank you for that one, Logan. Let's see. I've got two more in here. Let's see. We've got one from Stormcrawler. I got a prompt idea, maybe Virgil with a fear of planes having to get on one with his friend Logan to go and see their respective boyfriends. I love that. What I like about that one too, for one thing, BFF analogical, which is a fantastic thing. People always ask me, oh, what's your favorite ship? And I always say, well, Muxiety and analogical, but I love both of them as romantic or as platonic because their dynamics are so good. And I feel like a lot of that is because of, in canon, how close Virgil is both to Patton and to Logan. Not that he's close to, not that he's not close to Roman as well, but his relationship with Roman is always colored very differently than his relationship with Patton or his relationship with Logan, which is why I think I like Analogical and Moxiety so much. It's just the way that they interact with each other and the way that they play with each other. But what I like about this one, other than the platonic Analogical, is they're going to see their respective boyfriends, meaning this is either a Moxiety and Logens story, or it is a Proxiety Logicality story, both of which are equally great. Hello! Hello, Perpetually Screaming. That's a nice username. Aren't we all, though? Aren't we all perpetually screaming? I feel like we are. That is my favorite thing about doing the tag lists on Fix, which is my least favorite part about uploading Fix to Tumblr, is the tag lists. But the one thing that makes doing it bearable is seeing all the great usernames that people come up with, and like just being reminded, oh yeah, there's a person who has this as a username, and that's really cool. So while I am a sucker for Moxiety and Logens, that's the other nice thing too. When you have Moxiety, it means you also have Logens, and Logens is fantastic. So it's always great to have that in the same verse. But since we did Moxiety on the last one, I feel like in the spirit of fairness, this one should be Proxiety and Logicality, the OG standard size ships. I feel like the fun of writing this particular story would be in the nitty-gritty details of it. It sort of like my story Counting Hours, if you guys have read Counting Hours, where surprise, it's Moxiety, but where Patton is flying home to Virgil after a business trip and Virgil's stuck at home waiting for him. The fun of that fic is it goes like moment to moment. Like what they're doing, both while they're apart and then when they come back together. So I think the fun of writing a story where Virgil is afraid of airplanes and he has to be on one with Logan isn't in, like 3 lines of like, then they got on the plane and they flew to Florida and then they met their boyfriends there. The fun of it is them being on the plane. Maybe Virgil has a panic attack on the plane and runs into the bathroom and Logan has to get him. Maybe, maybe Virgil starts having a panic attack, but Logan starts pulling him out of it, or Logan is distracting him as they go through. Logan probably has to come up with lots of different ways to keep Virgil distracted, because if it's a really long flight, then, maybe one distraction technique won't last for the entire flight, so you have to come up with some more. So I think that would be the fun of writing that one, would be coming up with the ways that Logan is distracting Virgil, from the terror of being in an airplane. I think the biggest ones, I think Logan would distract him by like doing word association games, like mind puzzles, things that kind of engage him and keep him from thinking about where they are and what they're doing. I feel like also it'd be really cute if they at one point just talked about their boyfriends and how cute they think their boyfriends are and how much they love them. So like if Virgil is like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm getting off this plane. This is ridiculous. I can't believe you dragged me along on this. And Logan is like, but Virgil, if you got off the plane, you won't get to go see Roman. It's like, you are right about that. I do want to see Roman. So that would be fun. That would be very, because if there's one thing I love, it's secretly snarky Logan. And Logan always knowing exactly how to push someone's buttons in just the right way and be like, hey, go on. That is I think an underappreciated aspect of Logan's character sometimes, but it's fantastic. So yeah, I think the main ones would be like word games. I don't think a movie would work. I don't think Virgil would be able to distract himself by watching a movie on a plane, because watching a movie experience than watching a movie somewhere else. So it wouldn't work as a distraction. It's like you've got the headphones and it's weird. And it's this tiny little screen that's in front of you, like on the back of somebody else's seat. It's a uniquely airborne experience. So I feel like that wouldn't work. That, or like their entertainment system isn't working, so that isn't an option. So his plan of distracting with Virgil with movies for the entire flight isn't going to work now, and they have to do something else. So yeah, it'd be a short one, but it'd be very fun. It'd be very sweet. It'd be very, even though it's like, oh, it's about like princiety and logicality is the endgame ships. It would very much be about Virgil and Logan's friendship, or they could also be brothers in this case. They're best friends or brothers, either works. So that'd be really fun. I have one more that's in my inbox right now, and then if we don't get any more after that, I might have to start reblogging some prompt lists. But a Patton Sick Fic with extra angst and a little bit of fluff from Amity World. Amity? I'm not sure exactly. But yeah, I never know how to pronounce things, but Amity World. Amity World is giving us this prompt. I suppose I forgot to paste Storms, didn't I? Whoops. I'll do that too. Last one was, oh, that might be it. A Minty World. See, that's my problem when I'm reading URLs. I view them as like one long word, and it's really hard for me sometimes to distinct them into different words, unless it's really obvious, like tulips come in all sorts of colors, or I love reading and I love breathing. If they're a little more words that you wouldn't expect to see like that, I try to blend them all together into one thing. Stormcrawler 75. All right, but right now we're doing the A Minty World one. I bet that's it. I bet it's A Minty World. Yeah. So, a Patton Sick Fic. Those are always fun. Sick fics are. Do I have a Patton Sick Fic? I don't think so. I think my Sick Fic is a Virgil Sick Fic. I'm looking at my master list now because I don't remember. Load please, load please. Here we go. One shots. One shots. Stomach ache is Virgil. Where's my? I feel like I have written a Sick Fic with Patton as the sick one. Is it not on this list? Is it on the ficlet list instead of the fic list? I have too many lists. I have a ficlet on my ficlet list called The Power of Love, and every time I scroll past it, I'm just like, that's the power of love. Without fail. Oh, here we go. Oh, I do. Oh, okay, yeah. I very creatively titled it Moxiety Sick Fic. Nice job. Nice job, past me. That's very good. Nice job, May 2018, Taylor. But yeah, so I've written one where Patton gets like the stomach flu and Virgil takes care of him. And that's in Canonverse. I don't remember. I wonder if I can do links. I don't know if I can. Yeah, I can. I don't know if everybody can send a link in a chat, but I can send links in chat. So that is, that's my Moxiety Sick Fic that already exists. Is I think it was the first time I wrote a bullet fic. I was curious about the idea of like writing a story without writing the story, without like going through the entire process of doing it. It was kind of it's sort of this is like the step below bullet fix, what we're doing right now. Like you've got this, just like talking about what you would do, and then you've got bullet fix, which I have several of in my drafts, and then you've got the actual writing of the story. Oh, thank you, Chloe. That's exciting. I'm glad you liked it. I can't wait for the next one either. There was some stuff that I thought I was going to get to in chapter 5 that I ended up not getting to just because it kind of was a natural end to all the scenes to not get there yet. So, yeah, next chapter should be interesting. Hopefully it won't be as long between updates this time, because now that my schedule, I've been in school for 2 weeks, so I kind of have my schedule down, so I kind of know like when I can afford to spend time on writing and when I need to spend time doing other things. But yeah, I'm glad you liked it. I liked it. I liked writing it. Ooh, from Mandy, we have a character as a first responder. Meeting another character who's a different kind of first responder. So like fireman meets ambulance driver or something like that. Responding to a scene, immediately developing crushes on one another. Ooh, that'd be interesting. I don't know a whole lot about first responders, so if this was something that I did tackle, it would definitely be something I would have to research a lot, because I do not have a lot of experience with first responders or anything like that. But I feel like of any of the sides to be first responders, I feel like they would be Patton or... See, I originally was going to say Virgil or Roman, but then I was like, no, but Patton would be a really good one too. And then I was like, but also Logan kind of would. So felt a lot of good that did me, trying to narrow it down to sides. But yeah, I feel like, there you go, all four of them. Instead of one character meeting another, all four characters meet each other. Bye, Logan. But yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be a fun little lampy jaunt. Oh, you know what would be fun? I think there's a name for them. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up super quick to see if there is a name for them, because I feel like it is. But you guys know, why have I completely lost? I've completely lost the URL. I do this every time. Sometimes when I try to find a blog, I search for the person's name instead of their blog URL, and then I forget what their blog URL is, and I'm like, no, I need the blog URL. I keep thinking that it's I'm Too Bi For You, but it's not that one. It's the other one. It's the other M one. Not I'm Basically Logan. There's too many I am blogs in this fandom. And by too many, I mean 3, but that's too many for me. My name skills are so bad. Jordan, what's Jordan's URL? I feel like I should be able to think of what Jordan's URL is off the top of my head. I cannot believe I've forgotten what Jordan's URL is. Y'all know who I'm talking about, right? Where is it? I haven't messaged them in a long time either, so I don't have it like quickly in my DMs. Jordan and I hardly ever. They've written a lot of ones. One that you probably recognize right away is the View from Here, where Patton and Virgil are really, really tall, and Logan and Roman are really, really short. Oh, is it I'm Basically Something? No, I keep thinking that's Logan. I'm Basically Logan. It's not I'm Too Bi For You, but I feel like there's a bi involved somehow. I don't. I'm just going to search the view from here. Maybe that'll find that. Their AO3 is dramatically garbage. I know that. That's it. Not so innocent bystander. I knew there was... That has nothing to do with I am. Why did I think that? Yeah. Jeez. Wow. Sorry, Jordan. I'm a teacher and I am this bad at names. Slow clap for me. Goodness gracious. But my point being, the reason I bring Jordan up in the first place, Jordan has a story called All You Need Is Love. And I don't know if there's a particular name for this style of story, but, well, I'm not their main classroom teacher, so I can't make them do that. I can't make my kids wear name tags all year round. I'm the music teacher. It's not so bad this year because I have mostly the same kids I had last year, but the kindergartners, I have 2 new classes of kindergartners. I don't know them. I only see them once a week. So I go in and we sing the name game, and I go, my name's Miss Taylor. I don't go by Miss Taylor, but and they're like, hello, Miss Taylor. And then we pass the bean bag around, and they take the bean bag, and they're like, my name's Annabelle, and we all sing, hello, Annabelle. And then they pass the bear, and I have forgotten their name already. That's how bad I am. Yes, please put an F in the chat for Jordan and for my forgetting her wonderful name. But yeah, no. My point being, though, Jordan has this story called All You Need Is Love, and it's a 7-chapter story where each chapter is focused on one pairing of lamp. So the first chapter is Moxiety, and then chapter 2 is Logicality, and chapter 3 is Reality, Logens, Prinxiety, Analogical. Then in chapter 7, all 4 of them meet together, and they all kind of have this realization we're all are kind of falling for all of each other at all the same time. Let's see what happens. And it's really cute. Let's see. It's nice that I'm allowed to put links in the chat. There's a link to the master list. It's very good. This is how I make up for forgetting your name, Jordan. I'm gonna link your story. But I feel like that would be interesting in this scenario because what they do it with is a bakery AU. But it would be interesting to do it with like a first responder type scenario instead. And each one of them could be a different type of first responder. So you could have an ambulance driver, or actually I feel like EMT. I feel like Logan would be an EMT. So you've got your fireman. I feel like Roman would be a fireman. I feel like Roman would be a fireman. I feel like Virgil would be a policeman. And Logan and Patton both would be EMTs who sometimes are on the same shift and sometimes aren't. And that is how we would get this, that's how we would get this 7-chapter long lamp story of the different times where their shifts kind of coincide. Like at one point, Virgil and Roman meet on a job. At one point, Patton and Logan are sharing the ambulance together. At one point, Logan is in the ambulance on a call to a place where Virgil was the officer on scene. Different things like that. And then and they all are kind of like into each other, but like they don't see each other super often. But then the last one is they all end up at the same call. You have Logan and Patton on the same shift in the ambulance, called to a fire that Roman responds to, that Virgil is the first officer on scene for. So we've got all 4 of them there at once, and they're all like, hey, I know you, I know you, I know you. Coffee. So that would be a fun little romp there. So yeah, that would That would be interesting, to say the least. Again, that would be an interesting story, probably not a great one for me to write, because I'd have to spend so much time researching paramedic stuff and all sorts of things. Goodness gracious. There's so much screaming in the comments of AFR5. Why? They're fine. Everyone's fine. Don't worry about it. There's nothing wrong at all. But yeah, let's see here. I am actually all out of prompts now. So I'm going to go look for a prompt list. I think I'm going to use one of the same ones I reblogged last month when I did this. But I'm only going to reblog one because reblogging a bunch of them was a mistake. I had so many prompts in my inbox after the live stream was over that I just didn't want to deal with. And that was a mess to clean out. So I'm only going to do one this time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go find those, and then we in the stream can decide which one I should reblog to have people who maybe are on Tumblr who don't know that we're streaming right now or who aren't watching right now can give suggestions for. So let's take a look. Let's see. What are over here? What are these open? These don't need to be open. All right, so prompts. Oh, also, I should probably. All right, I'm just gonna copy it from here. It's times like this that I have the music going on for when I'm just like staring at my screen going like, what? That way it's not completely dead silence. That's the thing I disliked the most about when I was rewatching last month's, was the swaths of silence. Oh, look at that. Ooh, we could also do a theme, like giant tiny prompts or fey prompts or wump prompts or something like that. That would be fun. The dialogue ones are hard because they're so long. I feel like that's harder to do. So I'm actually going to see if I can find the I don't want those ones. We'll find. Let me find that list of Fae prompts from ages ago. Fae are always fun to talk about. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm definitely still accepting prompts. I would love for some more. That's why I've kind of like crawled to a halt. I'm looking for prompt lists to reblog so that I can get some more prompts because I don't have any new ones in my inbox right now. So that is something that we want to fix. There we go. All right. So here's the Fae one. Those are always good. I'm responding to prompts in a live stream. Send me some, then come watch to see how I'd write the story. It's always weird when they do this weird quote thing instead of like a normal list, but all right. So we've got that. Let's see. I know I've got, that wasn't a, oh, right. It always throws a fit when I'm trying to search. Infinitesimal then. I don't know how to spell infinitesimal. There, that looks right. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, come on. I know I have. Ooh, that's a good one. Oh wait, you know what? I bet if I use the Sanctuary tag list, I can find the original post that had a list attached. Maybe. I don't know. I told myself I was going to be more organized this time around, and then I wasn't. But in my defense, writing the end of AFR took longer than I thought it would. I really wanted to get AFR Chapter 5 done at like 1:30. I got it done at 3:15. So, you know, I got it done. That's what matters. That's what's important. Did I not link to the list on this one? Oh, lame. Lame. I know I have a list of giant tiny prompts somewhere on this freaking blog, and I will find it. Hi, Storm. Hello, Colorize? I don't know. Pearly? Hello, people who I haven't said hello to yet. I can't find this prompt list. I know it exists. Oh, here we go. Found it. Yes. Okay. I hope you know, Chloe, you have We Didn't Start the Fire stuck in my head now. It was always burning since the world been turning. We didn't start the fire. So, I'll never get a song stuck in my head. It won't leave for the rest of the day. All right. Why is this so zoomed in? Knock it off. Computer. Hello, computer. Does anyone else like Star Trek 4? I like Star Trek 4. It's a good one. It's the one with the whales. And it's my favorite. Not my favorite Star Trek. My favorite Star Trek is Next Generation, the series, but my favorite Star Trek movie is probably Far From Home, which I think is the one that is. I don't remember titles either, but I remember things that I like. So, whatever. Okay. I see that I've gotten a couple of asks now. So I'm going to stop digging through my archives looking for things and actually get back to answering some prompts. How's that sound? Oh, yes, for sure. I have been making playlists for and I haven't released them yet because most of them are very long, but I have been making playlists for dark versions of each of the sides, and then also just a regular playlist for Deceit and for Remus because they are the dark versions of those sides. And actually right now the one who has the most songs on it is Remus, and the very first song on Remus's playlist is Forbidden Fruit. So it is currently stuck in my head because I was listening to Remus's playlist on repeat while I was writing A Fiendly Reunion. I really like listening to music that puts me in the right mindset for a story, and there's a couple songs on that Remus playlist that really are just perfect for writing anything to do with Remus being weird and creepy, or even Remus doesn't have to be involved. It can be anybody being weird and creepy. But yeah. So, ooh, this one's nice. So, from Mandy. I hate to break it to you, but that baby's not yours, or for that matter, human. And I've written a fluffy version of this prompt before, so for this one, I would want to make it more angsty and more uncomfortable, because the version of this that I have written is Patton's child was taken by the Fae, and he has been left a changeling, but his baby was at risk for dying very young. It probably wasn't going to do very well. And he doesn't know what the Fae wanted with a baby that isn't very healthy, but he has faith that whatever they want that child for, it probably would have a better life with the Fae than he could have given it. And in the meantime, he has this changeling child who can't help where it came from, can't help what its people decided to do with it. And he's like, I'm still going to raise this baby as my own, my little baby Virgil, the little changeling child. So that's a nice fluffy version of that prompt. But the more angsty one, of course, would be discovering that your baby is a changeling and that you are not cool with that. I feel like it might be interesting to see and this would probably turn into a long one, but I think it'd be interesting to see Patton again, because Patton's the parent, but this time it wouldn't be Virgil as the baby. I think this time Thomas would be the baby. And I think, and by the baby, I mean the baby that was taken, the human baby. So Thomas is Patton's kid, and I think Patton and Logan's kid, like Patton and Logan are, it's logicality. Patton and Logan are together, and they have this child, and Logan, Roman and Virgil are Fae. And they are Fae who are friendly with Patton and Logan. They know each other. They are, they're pals. But then Remus and Deceit are other Fae, maybe from a different court. Maybe Roman and Virgil are Seelie, and Remus and Deceit are Unseelie, or vice versa. They're from different courts. They're from different families. They don't like each other. And Remus and Deceit take Patton and Logan's baby and leave them a changeling. And it is a quest led sort of like, so the one who says that baby isn't yours or even human, that's Roman or Virgil seeing the baby and being like, that's a changeling. You got changeling. And so they decide, Logan and Patton beg them for help, and they decide to help their human friends. So the four of them have to go to Fairyland to try and re-exchange the children, to give the changeling back to the Fae and take their son Thomas back. I think that's what I would do for that one. So that'd be a fun little story to tell. Sorry, something along the lines of Love and Other Fairy Tales by Tulips Come in All Sorts of Colors. And if you guys haven't read Love and Other Fairy Tales by Tulips Come in All Sorts of Colors, you should. It's amazing. I love it very much. Great story, especially if you like the Fae. Hi, Viz. All right. Everybody give it up for Viz in the chat. Viz helped me by betaing a Fiendly Reunion. They are my longtime beta who I go to anytime I am stuck with stories. I'm like, Viz, make it better. And then they do, because they're amazing. But yeah, I think I saw another prompt up in the chat as well that I didn't answer. Let me see if I can find that one again. We can get to those before I get to the rest of the ones that are in my inbox. Here we go. I found it. There we go. So, you were the one that was willing to gamble what you couldn't afford to lose. Logan, who doesn't believe in fantasy. Oh, we love a Logan who doesn't believe in fantasy getting thrust into fantastical situations. That reminds me of the one that I wrote where he meets Faye Roman, and Faye Roman ends up tricking him out of his name and getting basically caught by the Fae. It's like, ha, you didn't believe that the Fae existed, but now you belong to them. Whoopsie doodles. Whoopsie doodles. So that is always a fun scenario. I feel like you were the one that was willing to gamble what you couldn't afford to lose. That doesn't even necessarily have to be something Fae related. It could be anything high fantasy, where he's just kind of reckless with his life, soul, freedom. I feel like freedom would be the most interesting one. Something that, again, something that is something that a human who doesn't believe in magic wouldn't think is something that you could gamble with. But for a magical creature, it is very serious to gamble with. I almost feel like that would be a continuation. That would be neat. Hang on, I should have a draft open just for every time I need to paste something and then I forget it. There we go. Okay. Because where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Go, 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 go. Faith Eclipse. Because I've written one. I called it May I Have Your Name? And it's a short one. And in it, hello, Lady Artemis. Welcome, welcome. So in May I Have Your Name, Logan there's the link to May I Have Your Name. But in May I Have Your Name, Logan is a human, doesn't believe in magic, doesn't believe in the Fae, walking through the woods. He gets lost, and he finds Roman. Roman, of course, being a Fae. But he goes over to talk to Roman, and Roman is, of course, being his Roman self. But Logan takes his kind of bravado and confidence for being some sort of human nobility. Because Roman is like, you've wandered into my woods. And Logan is like, you don't own the woods. You can't own the woods. And Roman is like, yeah, I can. And Logan assumes when Roman is like, I can too own the forest, Logan then assumes that he must be a lord of some sort. So he's like, apologies, sir, may I have your name? Which, big, crazy question. You don't ask a Fae that. You don't say that to the Fae just right off the bat, meaning that, like, may I have your name? Because not only is that asking for the true name, like the phrasing of it, may I have your name? If you say it after that phrasing, it's almost like you give it. And giving it is much more powerful than telling it. So Roman is just like so taken aback by this forwardness that he realizes that Logan is kind of stupid, but he is very endeared by that. So that he's like, perhaps if I may have yours as well. And Logan again is all like, only the nobility would be this, self-important. But you know what? I need to get out of the forest. So sure, I'll humor you. My name's Logan. And then because he has that little piece of it, he's able to kind of charm Logan into giving the rest up. So, because that one is, I wrote that one based around, you are a foolish creature, but a beautiful one. I think I'll keep you for a while. So I feel like that prompt from Viz, you were the one willing to gamble what you couldn't afford to lose, would be a continuation of May I Have Your Name. And it would be during one of the times where Roman lets Logan rest, because a lot of the times if a fae takes you, you're just like singing or dancing for it, kind of past what your human limits are. But if they're a particularly nice fae, they might let you rest from time to time so that they don't wear you out faster. So there's a time when they're resting and Logan is kind of just complaining. Logan is like complaining about his situation, and Roman is like, "You're the one who is willing to gamble with your name. You're the one who was willing to be so flippant with strangers in the woods. You were the one who wasn't heeding the tales that are meant to keep your kind safe. You're the one who gambled with something that you couldn't afford to lose. And it's really not my fault that you're in this situation. It is yours." And but Logan perhaps maybe rebuttals that, like, you know, our species do not communicate in the same way, and you shouldn't assume that your species' form of communication is acceptable for mine, and I shouldn't have to adhere to your species' form of communication, just as you shouldn't have to adhere to mine. And Roman is just kind of, again, taken aback by Logan's bravado, because Logan never believed the stories, so he never had reverence for them. And so he doesn't have this sort of inherent fear of the Fae that a lot of other humans do. So Roman is very much endeared by Logan's attitude and Logan's behavior. So even though Roman is still going to keep him, he's like, "I'm going to make sure I take extra good care of you. You know, I'm not going to wear you out super, super quick. You know, I'm not going to just discard you like trash. You're a special little human. I'm gonna make sure that you're mine forever." So that would be a fun one. Thanks for that prompt, Viz. That was awesome. Oh, let's see. We've got some more good ones. I got a lot of Fae ones in here. Ooh, and a couple tag list requests. That's always fun. Thank you guys for that. But let's see. Speaking of you're a foolish creature but a beautiful one, I think I'll keep you for a while. We've got one of those from PS Reblogs with Fae Deceit and Human Roman. We'll put that one in the chat so people remember. Fae Deceit. A Fae Deceit works so well. I feel like it's not used very often. Violet used it in Love and Other Fairy Tales, but I haven't seen a ton of Fae Deceit otherwise, which is surprising because, like, he's perfect for Fae stories. And especially if you like morally ambiguous deceit, because the Fae are very morally ambiguous. This one would be a pretty straightforward, like Roman stumbles upon a fairy circle and he tries to clever his way out of it, because he thinks that he'll be clever enough to, outwit the Fae. And he wouldn't be. He almost would be, though. He would almost be able to outsmart deceit and get his freedom, but deceit is just clever enough to outsmart Roman. And Roman, again, deceit would find Roman's bravado and Roman's attitude very endearing. And I think after their little battle of wits that deceit does ultimately win. That is when the line comes, like, "You are a foolish creature, but you're a beautiful one. I think I'll keep you for a while." That one would be really short, but it'd be really fun to come up with the mind game that goes with it, because that's the thing, whether you have really smart characters or you have puzzles or mind games in your stories, you have to come up with them. I have a sci-fi AU that I kind of have on the back burner right now, and I decided I wanted it to involve a political conspiracy. The problem with that is then you have to devise a political conspiracy kind of out of thin air and roll with that. So that was the hardest part about outlining that story, was coming up with a conceivable conspiracy theory that made sense and wasn't completely idiotic. But yeah, one of these days I'll get around to writing that, and that'll be fun. We have another one from A Minty World. We have a Prinxiety fic where Roman is overprotective of Virgil, and he has to learn there are some things he can't protect his boyfriend from. That would be a good one. Let's see. Let's put that one in the chat. A Minty World. I feel like this story could go one of two ways. This either be kind of a lighthearted little jaunt where like Virgil has to he is going off and he does something on his own and it's something that makes Roman nervous, but it's sort of like a thing where Roman has to learn you gotta still do your own thing. You gotta as much as I want to protect you from everything, you're still an adult, and you are still there's gonna be times where you do things on your own, and I won't always be there, and that's okay. I have to get past that, and it would be something kind of lighthearted and cute. But I feel like you could also take this to a really dark place if you were in the mood for that. If you were in the mood for some angst, you could get really angsty with a story, with a prompt like this. And it depends on the type of world too. I feel like it would be much more lighthearted if it was our world, if it was a human AU. But if it was like a fantasy world where, where Virgil is a knight and Roman is a prince, and Roman wants to keep Virgil by his side all the time and not, ever have him go out into danger, but he's a knight, he's in the guard, he's a soldier, he still has to go out into the dangerous world at times, and there's really nothing that Roman can do about that, even though he's the prince and he's so used to having that type of power. He can't do anything this time. That would be really good. I like that idea. I love it when Virgil is a knight in stories. I think that fits him really well. But I also love it when in a fantasy story, Roman is not the prince. I have a story like that I have not updated in so long, but that's what Lost and Found is. In Lost and Found, Roman is the knight and Virgil is the prince. But with that one, with Roman being overprotective of Virgil, I really like the idea of overprotective Prince Roman in love with his royal guardsman or knight or soldier Virgil. Doesn't want Virgil to go out into the dangerous world, but Virgil has to because that's his job, and it's his job to protect Roman and to protect the kingdom and its people. And Roman, who was so used to having all this power and being able to kind of make whatever he wants happen because he's the prince, kind of has to come to grips with the fact that he can't protect Virgil from the world when Virgil's out there doing his job. I like that. That's really cool. That's an awesome prompt. Thank you for that one, A Minty World. Let's see. Oh, I like that. For the I hate to break it to you, but that baby's not yours prompt that we talked about earlier. Roman could be the original baby and Remus could be the changeling that replaces them. I like that. I like that idea a lot. That'd be really interesting. It'd especially be really interesting if maybe because Fae and don't experience time the same way that humans do. I have such a glow behind me with this window. But because Fae don't experience time the way that humans do, it could be that Logan and Patton have their baby for a while. They have Remus maybe for a year or two. Maybe he's a little toddler now. And it's only then that Roman and Virgil come to warn them that, hey, Deceit took your baby and switched him with a changeling. And they're like, no, what are we going to do about that? But I feel like, and this is where I'm going to shamelessly rip from Love and Other Fairy Tales, I feel like Patton and Logan, Patton in particular, but also Logan, wouldn't want to give up the child they have now. They wouldn't want to just get rid of Remus, but they wouldn't want their human baby to be with the Fae. So they go on that trip to save baby Roman. So I guess in that case, Virgil would be the only Fae who comes to warn Logan and Patton about the changeling. So you've got human parents, Logan and Patton, human baby, Roman. He's taken, replaced with changeling child, Remus. And Virgil comes and warns them. And he's like, hey, that's a changeling. That's not your kid. And they're like, he is too our kid. But also, wow, we really don't want our other kid to be with super nasty Fae man. So they go on a quest to get Roman back and then raise Roman and Remus as twins. Just like Thomas and Logan in Love and Other Fairy Tales. Wow. So, yeah, I like that. That's a great idea, Mandy. Oh, let's see. Got one more prompt in the inbox right now. Nobody sent in any GT ones, which is surprising. People are a lot more into Fae than GT, I think. GT is a lot more niche, I feel. But it's a good time. I like it. I better like it. I wrote a whole AU for it. Which I'll eventually do more stuff with. Again, I'm always hopping between my projects. And if y'all don't know about the Marvel AU just had a little bit of life breathed back into it. And I almost immediately stopped answering asks again for it. But that's because I got busy with work, and I will answer some more of those New Mexico ARC asks soon. I don't know why. I think it's partly because I haven't seen Thor in such a long time, and it's surprisingly hard to get a hold of if you don't want to pay to rent it, which I don't. Because why would you pay to rent Thor when you could watch Ragnarok instead? But the original plot, the plot of the original Thor movie is so fuzzy in my brain. I had to look up Wikipedia articles about it and like read synopses and watch clips on YouTube to try and figure out what was going on, and I still couldn't think of how to write this thing, which is why I decided to make it interactive. I should have known that I am not consistent enough to keep an interactive thing up for very long, but it at least is it's moving forward at least. At least I'm not stuck with them on the airplane to New Mexico like I was for the longest time. They are actually in New Mexico now, and Patton's talking to Thor, yay. But yeah, we've got one more prompt in here. It's another, excuse me, the T is now trying to come back up. We don't want that. This is from an Anon. But entering a fairy circle is an easy way to get killed. The character is going to prove them wrong, but spoiler warning, they don't prove them wrong. So, whoops the daisy. Character in a fairy circle, things go bad. This one's really open-ended. And I feel like, oh, thank you for the prompt then, Missy. I'm glad you sent it. We have a little bit of open-endedness with this one. So you could, the first thing to do with something like this would be to decide who are humans, who are Fae, how many characters are involved. I feel like you need at least 3 characters. You need at least 2 humans and 1 Fae in this case. You know what would be fun, because we don't have a lot of these, and these are always fun. What if Roman and Remus are twins? They're humans, and they are walking around through the forest, and we know how Remus is. He's impulsive. He's impulsive, and he's reckless, and he kind of doesn't care about a lot of the things that humans would care about avoiding. Like, he doesn't care to avoid a lot of the things that humans would care to avoid. So they come across a fairy circle, and Roman's like, hey, don't go over there. And Remus is like, why not? He's like, entering a fairy circle is an easy way to get killed. And Remus is like, I'll prove that you're wrong. But even if he's not wrong, he doesn't mind so much because he likes to flirt with danger and death anyway. That's just something that he does. So then either Fae Deceit or Fae Virgil, or maybe both, show up, and shenanigans ensue, and
I feel like this could go a couple different ways too. I feel like you could have it either be a thing where it's like Remus becomes friends with these Fae, and now he's kind of in this friendship with these supernatural beings, or they take him, and now Roman is trying to get his twin brother back. As much as he doesn't like Remus at times, he is still his brother, and he doesn't want him to, be at the mercy of the Fae. Or if you wanted to get really angsty with it, me and my angst, one thing you could do is you could have them find the fairy circle together, and when they first find it, they don't do anything about it. But then maybe a little later, like they get into a fight or something happens at home, and Remus runs back into the forest, and he's upset and he's hurting, and he feels like he doesn't really have a place in his family, at his home, whatever. So he goes back to the fairy circle, and he's like, I don't care if this is an easy way to get killed. I just want out of the situation that I'm in right now. And he assumes that no one will come looking for him. So he goes and I kind of like this idea. So he goes there, and it's Fae Deceit who is there, and Deceit takes him to Fairyland, and Deceit is full of false promises and empty words and lies, and so he says, oh, it'll be fine, it'll be great, you'll love it, and it's not good for him. It's not going to be good for Remus at all. Bad news bears, get out of there. But Remus doesn't care, so he goes with Deceit, and then again, Remus didn't think anyone would come after him, but Roman does come after him because Roman does love his brother and he does care. And he goes to the fairy circle, and Virgil, the Fae, then sees him there, and he's like, who are you looking for? And he's like, I'm looking for my brother. He might have come here. And Virgil knows what Deceit did. And Virgil now has to decide whether or not he's going to help this human. And he's like, well, I could help you, but I'd be sticking my neck out. And Roman's like, please, I'll do anything. Just help me find my brother. And Virgil's like, okay. So then they go. So it's Virgil and Roman on an adventure to get Remus back from Deceit. And along the way, they meet other foresty spirit, Fae / whatever creatures, Patton and Logan, and they also help. And that would be a very fun romp through the magical forest to try and save Remus from the evil Deceit. Yay! I think that'd be fun. That would be a really interesting take on the kind of the Dark Side trilogy, because like right now with the way the sides are broken down, you've got the trilogy of light sides and you've got the trilogy of dark sides, and it's always really interesting to see how you play around with that. And I think it'd be interesting to see a take where, of the 3 dark sides that we know about right now, Deceit is the only one who is really particularly like villainous, and meanwhile Virgil is Virgil, and Remus is, particularly in this universe where Remus is human, Remus is nowhere near as crafty and sneaky as Fae Deceit is. He's easily tempted by Fae Deceit though, so he easily gets brought into this mess of a world. So that'd be an interesting take on it. A lot of the times we see Virgil as kind of being the odd one out of that trilogy of characters, that trio of characters, of him being the good one or better one, while Remus and Deceit are more like that's an adjective. But it'd be interesting to see one of the others be the outlier, either Deceit or Remus be the outlier of the only one of them who's actually really bad, and then the other 2 aren't as bad. I've seen that done. There's I think it's Coconut Cluster is writing it. There's a great story going on right now. Coconut Cluster is writing a story right now where Remus has Roman kidnapped in his realm, and Deceit is like, look, we all don't get along, but Roman's a part of Thomas. Thomas needs Roman. We can't let Remus just do whatever the heck he wants to. I'm gonna help you get Roman back. So in that instance, it's Remus who is the single one out, who is particularly villainous, and then Deceit and Virgil are more morally gray. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with the breakdown of sides that we've got going on right now, which is one of the fun things. I also hate it when my friend is being. It's the worst. It's the worst when people are like that. Ooh, we've got a couple GT ones now, which are fun. Very fun, very fun. So the first one is a Prinxiety one. And it's got Big Virgil. I love that. So, from Ro, people are scared of me because I'm so big. Well, I'm not. Prinxiety with Big Virgil. I feel like this would be Roman trying to convince Virgil to come and do something with him. Like, for one thing, this type of prompt indicates that giants are the less common ones. So this wouldn't say be a borrower AU or a littles AU. This would be some universe where Virgil is part of a species that is larger than the normal species living on Earth. Like a giant or a giant mermaid or something like that. And Roman wants him to come and like come with him, like come to my party, like come to my bonfire, you know, in the woods or something like that. And Virgil doesn't want to because he knows that people are afraid of him. And Roman tries to insist that he's not afraid of him, and if he's not afraid of him, then he can convince his friends not to be afraid of him, and it'll all be fine, Virgil. Come to my party. It'll be really cool, I promise. And I feel like the way that this would play out is Virgil would agree to go to the party. And initially there would be a really negative reaction to him. And that would make him run away and be upset. And so then Roman has to come after him and try to convince him that everything's fine. And so for a while, Virgil is upset with Roman. He's like, you made me come here. And now I've been humiliated. They're scared of me. They hate me. How could you do this? But what Roman has done is he's brought his two friends from the party who were not afraid of Virgil, and that is Logan and Patton. And he's like, look, they're not scared either. Not everyone is scared of you. Not everyone thinks that you're a monster. We still want to be your friends, even if you don't think that you're worth that. So that'd be a very fun little family lamp style happy fun times. So that would be very cute. We've got I Hope You're Not Afraid of Heights with Logan being afraid of heights and trying to hide it for Virgil's sake. So in that case, you've got a big Virgil and a small Logan. And in this one, you can be it's a little more open as to what the size breakdowns are. It's like, is Virgil a giant and Logan is a human? Or is Logan a borrower or a little and Virgil is a human? I'm kind of leaning toward the latter. I'm leaning towards human Virgil and borrower Logan and their friends. They've met in Virgil's apartment, and they've met in Virgil's apartment and have kind of this like blossoming friendship. It's kind of early days yet for them, but it is. They're friendly with each other, but they aren't quite at the Logan is comfortable with Virgil picking him up and carrying him around all the time stage. So this is the first time that's happening. This is the Virgil is offering to carry Logan somewhere for the first time bit of story. So he's like, I hope you're not afraid of heights. And Logan's like, I'm not, don't worry, it's fine. But then Logan does go ahead and pick him up. Logan picks him up. Virgil picks him up. And, when he's up in the air in this human's hand, I have my phone because, fun fact, is my ruler around here? I don't know if my ruler is around here. But I have an iPhone 6S. An iPhone 6S in the case is about 5-ish inches long, which is the average height of usually what borrowers are in stories. Borrowers are usually 4 to 6 inches tall in stories. So I use my phone as a handy size reference for how tall a borrower would be. Obviously, the proportions aren't quite right because they would not be this wide, nor would they be this skinny, but they would be about this tall. So I use my phone as a size reference when I'm writing borrower stories. But when, Logan is in Virgil's hand for the first time, and it's like, oh, I'm standing up. I'm really high up now, and it's a lot scarier up here than I thought it was gonna be. And so he freaks out a little bit, but Virgil, being more emotionally intelligent than Logan is, picks up on his discomfort, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And Logan tries to be like, "No, I'm fine. Everything's fine." And he's like, "You're not fine. We can ease into this. It's fine. I don't have to carry you, or I don't have to carry you so high, or we can come up with some reason or some way for you to feel a little more secure when I'm carrying you somewhere. But, there's nothing to be ashamed about of just being scared by how tall I am and by how high up you are going to be when I carry you." So that'd be a very nice little sweet bonding moment for the two of them. So I think that would work really nice. Yeah. So thank you for that one. That one came in from Ananon. So that was nice. Give me just a sec. I have a message. Cool. All right. Let me see. Is that it for the ones in my inbox right now? That is it for the ones in my inbox right now. Don't have any new ones. Yeah, that one was really good. I like that, Chloe. I really like when humans and borrowers are friends, which is why I wrote the Sanctuary AU. Because you always read those human and borrower fan fictions. And you always read about how bad it is for the borrowers, either where humans don't know about them and they're trying desperately to keep themselves a secret, or where humans do know about them and they're exploited a lot, and they're used in the pet industry and the entertainment industry and all these things. And it's like, you never get the emotional catharsis in those stories of there being some sort of societal pushback against it. And I really wanted to see that. I was like, what would a world look like where there were people, humans, who were trying to coexist with borrowers as equals instead of treating them as lesser and treating them as pets? And that's why I wrote the Sanctuary AU, which was mildly inspired by Fangirl to the Fullest's Centaur AU. The part that I particularly that I kind of pulled from that, the inspiration I pulled from that was Thomas having this farmland out by himself, where he can, have the space and time and money to do this, where he can, have this sanctuary away from the rest of the world, and how the rest of the world treats this, sentient being that is, should have full personhood under the law, but does not because of prejudice. So that was kind of the goal with the Sanctuary AU, was to create a world where maybe borrowers aren't accepted yet, but they could be in the future with enough activism and awareness and education that these are people who have, wants and desires and intelligence, and who can, get bachelor's degrees and do all these amazing things that humans can do. That the only difference is they're disadvantaged in the world because of their size. You can bring about change in the society of it. So that's what I enjoy about GT stories. I enjoy the juxtaposition of having a character who could have a lot of power over another character, but chooses not to exercise that in an abusive way. That's also what makes stories about friendly fae very fun for me, because that's sort of the same way. Fae have a lot of power over humans and they could exercise it, but the good ones don't, and those are fun to read about. So, yeah, this is what happens when I get off on a tangent. I start making no sense, and repeating myself a lot. But yeah, it's good times. Good times. Am I out of tea? I have one gulp of tea left. Drop it like it's hot. It is not hot anymore. That was a decidedly cold sip of tea, but that's all right because it's the end of the cup. Let's see. I think that covers pretty much everything. That covers every prompt that I have gotten today so far. I'm glad I didn't reblog a ton of lists like I did last time. That was way too many. It was really overwhelming. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to turn the last few minutes of this, because I don't want to go longer than 2 hours, because my husband and I still have to go grocery shopping today, and it's we don't want that. We don't want it to get too late before that happens. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna reblog the live stream link again. I'm gonna be like, at this time, I'm taking questions about not just a Fiendly reunion, certainly a Fiendly reunion scene is how it just came out, but just about kind of writing more in general. Like any of my works in progress or any of my one-shots or like future plans, just stuff like that, kind of like a mini Q&A a mini Q&A session, if that's something that you guys are down for. So I'm gonna do that real quick. For the last maybe 30 minutes, do a Q&A style. So yeah, thank you so much also for all the prompts that you guys sent in. Those were great ones. And I said this last time I did this too, but this is a really nice way to it's to exercise creativity and kind of a more low pressure environment, because I'm not writing these stories. I'm not going to put pen to paper and devote all the time and effort that it takes to turn them into full-fledged fics, but I still get to explore the ideas and explore the characters and do some of the more fun parts of writing, which is the coming up with the idea and thinking about how it will play out, just without all of the extra baggage of writing and editing and all that kind of stuff. So this is fun. I enjoy doing this. Okay. Okay. So yeah, and I'm going to read this out loud as well. But for the last 20 to 30 minutes, I'm going to do a little Q&A thing. So if you have questions about my writing, about Chapter 5 of A Fiendly Reunion that just came out today, again, if you didn't get a chance to read that yet, go ahead and do so if that is a story that you're following. If you have questions about my other works in progress, my progress on my works in progress, my AUs, future plans in my writing, or about like just kind of general questions about writing, about my process of writing, about different types of writing. It doesn't have to be about mine specifically, just like writing in general. just kind of talk shop for a few minutes about fic writing and the fic community of Sandersides and all that fun stuff, this would be a cool time to talk about that stuff before I gotta go to the grocery store. So that has been posted to my blog. Let's see, what time is it? It's 5:30. It's about time as well. Let me check the timestamp on the original post. I like to, when I have a new chapter come out, I like to, or a new story or anything like that, I like to reblog it every couple of hours after it has been posted so that people who maybe didn't see it initially when it came out can see it. So it has been about 2 hours now since I published chapter 5 of the Findlay Reunion. So I'm going to go ahead and reblog that as well, since it has been a few hours. So alrighty, I'm looking over some of the comments on a Findlay Reunion right now as well. There's a lot of there's a lot of screaming, a lot of all caps, a lot of keyboard smashing. That's always very fun. If you're not a writer yourself, and then maybe you don't know, but one of the funnest things about writing a story that maybe has a cliffhanger or has a particularly angsty part or section to it, one of the funnest parts is looking at the reactions afterwards and just having the audience experience what you experienced when you thought of the idea for the first time, when you're like, oh, what if this happened? Having the audience share that that initial emotion that you had is very fun, very rewarding, and it tells us that we're doing our job right if we create a reaction like that. So good stuff to see. But yeah, make sure I didn't miss any prompts in the chat as well. I think we're doing good. I think we got all of them. All right, good stuff. Oh no, I scrolled past the "we didn't start the fire" again. I'm gonna get that stuck in my head again. Just you wait. It's gonna happen. Start the fire. That's the other nice thing about this website, though. The thing I talked about at the beginning that I have on in the background right now. It's called My Noise, and it is a ambient sounds website, totally free, and you can choose all sorts of different soundscapes to listen to. And the one that I'm listening to right now, it's called 88 Keys. And the nice thing about it is the piano sounds that you're hearing are randomly generated. They're not, and because they're not playing a tune or a particular chord progression, it doesn't get stuck in your head. And there's no repetition to get stuck in your head. There's no progression to be stuck in your head. But because of the music of it, it is enough to like kind of quiet your brain down, or if you are ADHD, like I suspect that I might be, it gives that part of your brain something to kind of latch onto, but it doesn't completely and fully distract. It is in just enough stimulation. It's better than total silence, but it's not distracting, like listening to a playlist of either music with words or classical music that has a very catchy melody or very familiar progression. I found that sometimes I can't even listen to classical music in the background of something if it's classical music I already know, because I will get focused on the chord progression and the harmony and the melody and the instrumentation and all that kind of stuff, because I was I was a music major. I was classically trained in how to listen to music. So it's very the way that people who have some classical training listen to music is kind of different from the way that people who haven't had classical training listen to music. So it's easy to get distracted by things that you notice, just like it's easy to get distracted by lyrics. So that's what's really nice about this soundscape is there's nothing to get stuck with. Hey Logan, welcome back. Oopsie, where did it go? I talk about getting distracted by things while talking. I realized that there's a break in my geode necklace, so I'm trying to fix it while I wait for questions. But yeah, if there are no more prompts or no more questions coming in, then I might go ahead and call quits on this live stream so that my fiance and I can go to the grocery store. That's something we got to do today. But I'm going to give it a minute or two just to see if we get any in. I don't want someone to send one and then not get an answer. But in the meantime, let's watch Taylor fix her broken necklace. So what happened, you've got the chain here. So this is the part of the chain that latches on. And then this is where a hook is supposed to be, or a loop where the hook can attach to. The loop has fallen off. So now I have it here. So what I am doing now is, I wish I had needle nose pliers. Oh wait, I do have needle nose pliers. I have a jewelry making set somewhere. Here we go. I'm just crafty enough and into just enough different things that I have a lot of random stuff lying around, like jewelry making supplies. So, I'm gonna use the needle nose pliers for this one. But we're going to take this little broken loop and get it back into the chain. And then once we're sure it's in there and isn't falling out, Taylor, come on. There we go. Then you got to close it. And so then you can see I have it closed. Is that going to focus? I don't know if that's going to focus. I don't know. It's really tiny. And this is a Mac webcam. So like, I don't know. But you don't want to just close the loop. You want to make sure that the ends of the circle overlap just a little bit so that it doesn't come undone easily. That was too much though. All right, there we go. And now we can take our stone and put it back. There we go. It's fixed now. Yay, I fixed it. Never let it be said that I'm not good for anything. I can do random stuff like fix my broken geode necklace. If the geode itself ever breaks, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but yeah. All right. Ooh, I do see one ask. So, oh, this is an interesting question, actually. I'm glad I killed time for a little bit to wait for that question instead of just logging off when I didn't get any questions right away. So, for the Q&A, and I'm gonna put this in the chat as well, but for the Q&A, Do you ever feel guilty about writing fan fiction? I don't know exactly what I mean, but I have so many ideas for Sanderside stories, but something in the back of my brain says, this is stupid. You should come up with your own ideas and write original stuff. This is cringeworthy. I don't even know if it's guilt exactly, but it's just some sort of level of discomfort. Wondering if you've ever felt like that. So, oh, that's too long for the chat. Well, it doesn't need to be in the chat. It's fine. Do I ever feel guilty writing fan fiction? You know, personally, no, I don't. For a couple different reasons. One, you're allowed to enjoy things. You know, if writing fan fiction and reading fan fiction is something that you enjoy, that should be something that you're allowed to do. You know, there's nothing cringeworthy about liking fan fiction. You know, I know that Sandersides in particular is a fandom that often gets labeled cringy because of the content. And it's like, look, if you personally, because I feel like I'm about to get off on a tangent here. I'm going to put a pin in that and come back to it. I don't think that it is cringy to enjoy a thing. And I don't think it is cringy to want to write fan fiction for a thing, no matter what that thing is. And there are a couple of reasons that I think that. One of them is if you have an idea for a story with those characters, you should be able to explore it with those characters. Could you maybe do it with original characters? Sure. But it's sometimes doesn't work with original characters. I have some stories that I could write. It's like some fan fiction stories that I have that I could write with original characters, but I have other ones that I couldn't. I couldn't write our own villain with any other characters other than Sandersides. I couldn't write a Fiendly reunion with any other characters other than Sandersides. Those are Sandersides stories. They take place in this universe where Thomas can split his personality into these different pieces of himself, where he has these aspects personified. And so the stories that are told within that lore specifically can't be told with any other stories, with any other characters or universe. And those stories in particular are stories that the original series will probably never tell, certainly not in the way that I am telling them, just because of the nature of the difference between something that is meant to be printed on the page and read and something that is acted, particularly something that is acted with a indie budget. You know, the kind of stuff that I write about happening in, like, spoilers for A Fiendly Reunion Chapter 5, but I throw two characters down a ravine. Thomas and Joan aren't gonna do that. Like, that's not gonna happen. So you can do things with fan fiction with characters that the original material may not be able to or won't. The other thing about the difference with, like, some thinking or having somebody tell you you shouldn't waste your time on fan fiction, you should put your energy towards original ideas. Well, here's the thing with that. For one thing, fan fiction is a really good way to get better at your writing. I have been writing fan fiction for this fandom for close to 2 years, and my writing is a lot better now than I was 2 years ago. And I know that if I didn't have this fan fiction community, if I didn't have this series to write about, my writing right now, it would still be good because I have always been a technically competent writer, but it would not be as good as it is now. It would not be as developed. It would not be as practiced. So fan fiction is a really good way to just keep the writing muscles in your brain exercised. So it's good practice for one thing, but also fan fiction is never just. It's not just fan fiction. It's not just practice for the real thing. It is a worthy art, I think, all on its own. And even if all you ever in your life write is fan fiction, then that's still fine. That still makes you a writer. You're not just a fan fiction writer. You are a writer. You are writing something, you're putting it out there into the world, and people are hopefully reading it. And that is not that's not trivial, you know. There's something real about that, even if it's just with someone else's characters. And I think that it's less this way with fan art than it used to be, because people have found now that commissions can be a way to make a living, and fic commissions are a sort of a thing that happens, but nowhere near as often or with the frequency of art commissions. And because of that, I feel like fanfic has still this connotation of being cringy, and a large part of that is because a lot of people who partake of or produce fan fiction are teenagers, particularly teenage girls, and you know, we've all seen cringy Wattpad fanfics or banned fics, and we've all seen My Immortal and stuff like that. But even that, I hesitate to say it's not good, because some of it isn't good, but it's good that it exists. Like, because that's the other thing about fan fiction and publishing your work yourself on platforms like AO3, Tumblr, Wattpad, fanfiction.net. I know most people don't use fanfiction.net these days, but I bring it up because that's still what my husband reads most of his fanfiction on. Yeah, my husband, by the way, he's not in this fandom. He does not like Thomas Sanders' content at all. I've showed it to him. He does not care for it. That is fine. But we're both adults. We both have jobs. We pay our bills. We have, you know, checking accounts and student loans. He reads fan fiction a lot. He reads a lot of anime fan fiction. So like, it's not just for kids, you know, or kids start with it. And when you start with it when you're a kid, you don't have to stop doing it just because you're a grown up, or just because you're married, or just because you have kids. That's not how it works. You're allowed to be fans of things at any age. And also, again, remember your fan history. Fan fiction started, like the circulation of fan fiction started with adults making home produced magazines of fan fiction, of Star Trek fan fiction. So like, it's 2019. Kill cringe culture. There's nothing cringy about writing fan fiction. There's nothing wrong with writing fan fiction, even if from a purely technical standpoint, I'm talking skill of prose, story structure, grammar, things like that. Even if from a purely technical standpoint, the writing is not good, it is still good that it exists. It is still good that you have done it. It is still good that it is in the world, because it's something that a person made, and they had fun doing it, and it was important to them. And I think it's, pardon my French, I think it's shitty to shit on that just because it's for a cringy fandom, or it's a younger kid doing it, or anything like that. That's lame. No, don't come at me with that nonsense. And then the last thing about you should write your own ideas and write original stuff. Not everybody is gonna want to write their own original stuff. So if you're the type of person who doesn't want to write your own original stuff, but you still like writing, fan fiction is perfect for you. And I think we a lot of times ignore that. But also, if you do want to write original stories eventually, but also have all these ideas for fan fiction, I don't think you should let the thought that you want to write original stories stop you from writing fan fiction. I am very much the same way. I would love to write some original stories. But kind of where I am in life right now, I'm kind of in a very stressful place in life right now. You know, this is my second year graduated out of college. I've been married for 2 months. Both of us are in jobs where we're like, we're paying the bills, yay us, and there's some things that we like about our jobs, but it's like, do we want to really be doing this forever? Maybe not really, we're in a very transitional period right now. And kind of where I am in life right now, is a place where I don't want to lose the joy that I have of writing. I don't want to lose my passion for writing. I don't want to lose all the practice that I've had for the past 2 years of writing fan fiction. But I also really don't have the mental energy to devote to what it would take to develop some of my original stories past the idea phase. So I have personally decided not to give myself grief over that. And for right now is just a period of fan fiction in my life. And in the future, I will be able to go and write some, original stuff. But also, and actually Roman, what even is this, pointed this out one time. For this fandom specifically, because of the nature of the characters, fan fiction can be a really good way to test your story. It can be a really good way to test your original idea. And if you're like, I kind of want to see how this would play out, but I don't know quite how it would play out. Roman, Patton, Logan, and Virgil, and then also Remus and Deceit, and sort of also Remy and Emile, are all fully fleshed out characters, but they're also, most of them, with the exception of Remy and Emile, are not full people. They are parts of a person, which is why you get such a vast difference in portrayals of them that all still feel canon compliant. You can use Sandersides to test out a story with just about any type of character lineup because it kind of covers all the bases. You have the brave one, the smart one, the sweet one, the edgy one. How many shonen anime? How many, teen comedies? How many adventure stories? How many anything? How many any story-based things have we seen with that lineup? It's classic, and it's classic for a reason. And therefore, if you have an idea for Sandersides, if you have an idea for a story and you kind of want to see how it would go, write it as a Sandersides fan fiction and see how it goes. If it goes well, then you can kind of change some things and make it your own original work. There is no law that says you can't take your already written and published fan fiction and then turn it into an original book yourself, because guess what? That has already happened. It's called 50 Shades of Grey. It happens. It's a thing. We are in this age now where you can write a fan fiction and then later in life change the names, change some of the characters, slap a different name on it, and publish it as your own original work. That can happen. It has happened. It's okay to do that with your stories. It's okay to test them out with these other characters who are more familiar to you than maybe your own are yet, or are more comfortable to you than maybe your own are yet. And then now I think you should do it better than 50 Shades of Grey. No shade if you like 50 Shades of Grey. Again, I think it's important that happened. I think it's important that a fan fiction became a published original work because, again, it sets that precedent. But also, if you're going to do that with your work, maybe do it a little bit better than E.L. James did. But the thing about it is we live in this age now where you can do that and it's fine. It works, all right? So some people will call it cringy. That's their problem for still calling perfectly harmless things cringy in 2019. Like, deal with it. People will enjoy things. Deal with it. That's, I don't know if that rant made any sense at all. It kind of went all over the place, but too long, didn't listen. Do I ever feel guilty about writing fan fiction? The only time I do is when my little brother, who's 2 years younger than me and is writing an original high fantasy novel of his own right now, when he asks me if I'm writing anything right now, because he doesn't dislike Sandersides, but it is not his favorite thing in the world. And he personally is of the opinion that I am wasting my potential only writing Sandersides fan fiction. And I've kind of warmed him up to it a little bit by using some of those points, like it's good practice for me. I enjoy it. I'm at a stage in my life right now where I can't focus all my energy onto this original idea the way that you can. You're still in college and you're breezing through college because you're really smart. So my brother's really smart. So, like we're at different life stages right now. You can devote more energy to a book than I can, but I still want to write, all that kind of stuff. But that's really the only time I ever feel guilty about it. He asked me that yesterday. He's like, what are you writing right now? I'm like, well, I'm writing another chapter of a fan fiction that I have going right now. And he's more interested in my ideas that are AU ideas, but since a Fiendly Reunion is canon verse, it's not super interesting to him. But that's really the only time I ever feel that way. But that's because of my brother and the way that our relationship works and the way that other people's opinions can affect the way that you think. When I'm thinking about it by myself or when I'm talking about it with my husband, no, I do not feel guilty for writing fan fiction. So that little voice in the back of your head that says, this is stupid, you should come up with your own ideas. First off, they are your own ideas. Writing fan fiction is still writing your ideas. Just because you're using somebody else's sandbox doesn't mean it's not your story. And then this is cringeworthy. Kill cringe culture. Kill it. Burn it in a fire. We do not want it. It has no place in my life. Nope. It's gone, gone, gone. Nope. Not in this house. So yeah, that's kind of my take on that. That was really long and rambly, and I don't know if anybody listened, but that's okay. This is why I'm more succinct when I write, because I can edit out all of the extra things. But yeah, if that is it for questions and prompts, this was really fun. I think I'm going to go ahead and call it quits now because I'm really hungry and we have no food in the house, so we have to go to the store. That is the thing that we have to do. Oh, that's awesome, Chloe. You should. If that's something that you want to do, you should totally do that. It's a lot of fun to write. Oh, that was weird. But yeah, it is it's good stuff. And we're getting there. Societally, we're getting there. We're getting to this place of acceptance with fan culture. We're kind of there with fan art. But that's because fan art has been granted this legitimacy through online commissions being a viable way to live your life. And because fan fiction isn't like that, then a lot of people don't give fan fiction the same pass that they give fan art. But that's bull. Fan fiction is just as worthy as fan art and just as important as fan art and deserves just as many notes and attention and reblogs and comments as fan art. Comment on your favorite writer's fic today and have a good night. All right. I'm going to say bye and log off for tonight. So bye. Thank you, Colarise. Bye. Bye, Logan. Yeah. Good things. Which tab is playing my noise? I don't even know. Here it is. All right. And a hush fell over the crowd. Love you too, Chloe. Bye. Goodbye. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. My chair doesn't lean back that far. All right. Bye. Yes, I'm sure I want to end it. Bye. Bye, bye, bye.